It'd be nice to have it all together. So introduce yourself and see we still call it sign up for school. Because when I sent the thing out, I got 50 emails that I tried to read. When I sent it out, most likely it was me typing something out. So when we send this, I could just copy and maybe next year we would go Google Forms. What's that?
How are they doing?
Even if we did it like that.
Oh no, we Jared and I, which I
When we did that. When we were virtual,
We went back to the park. One of the days it was nice. Inside the water. My girl said to me, I was like, because I watched a little bit.
there's all times there, so they can pick their own and do something like that. That could even do too.
Take them back on the track.
And then the parents,
That's always an
because that's
Oh my gosh, they got the shots. They got the shots to start anything. They're like, hey, did you? We're like, yeah.
So this past weekend in the middle school thing, the other guy that did the false start,
maybe time to change that.
he cracked off the gun and then cracked off like 4 rounds. I missed her.
Mine are 9, 6, and 3.
It's a lot. It's the humor that we find funny.
Oh, yeah. And we said that they got aggressive and more attitude. It's good. Oh, like you said, we got aggressive and more like
I was glad to see something going on.
Do what?
It's all. Alright, yeah.
we want me to go through full pledge.
I guess that's true. I guess that's
So,
Oh, just
spend all day down
Just look pretty. Have this severe look
It
like.
was a good party. But yeah, it's about 3.5 hours too long. But it was fun.
But it was horrible.
Our buddy who's name
Just has to be there.
he did it right. I was actually impressed. Yeah. With his coffee. Yeah, we were Mace's birthday Saturday, we were gone all day, and then Sunday we were gone.
you know so much to through this. That made me laugh.
Oh my gosh, yes. You picked up on that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was on the ride home. I wasn't driving. Get on my butt. Then when I was getting Okay. Our spotlight, just before we start with our introduction, spotlights for success. So we're going to ask you if you want to lead us the pledge. Don't worry, it's not a solo, we'll join in. But just to start us out, please. Yes, everything's going well. You're laying up a lot.
In a second.
Not yet. I'm just warning you.
Well, you gotta hurry it up.
As soon as I start the meeting. Okay. Yep.
We'll call it so.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'd like to call this regular board meeting of Smith Green Schools to order for May 16th, 2022 at 7 o'clock. All right. Spotlight for success.
Why don't we go ahead and do the pledge?
Our spotlight ladies, if you would like to lead us in the pledge tonight.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Good evening, board. I have two outstanding individuals. I want to highlight them. First of all, we have Lillian Heim, Lily for short, and Morgan Schaefer. And we congratulate them as our Smith Green Community Schools Spotlight on Success in nominating you. Our staff feels that you have represented yourself and Cherubusco Junior Senior High School in a positive and exceptional manner. Through your effort, attitude, and accomplishments, you are an example of highest standard expected here at Cherubusco in the classroom. It is our pleasure to have you the caliber of student who demonstrates a positive attitude as well as excelling in academic discipline. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight each of them. First of all, Lily. She's this year's valedictorian, class of 2022. She was highly involved during her 4 years at Cherubusco High School. She participated in the work-based learning program this year in the Whitley County Prosecutor's Office. She is a 2-year member of the National Honor Society. This year she is vice president. She participated in Academic Super Bowl on the English, Social Studies, and interdisciplinary teams for 4 years. She was captain for 3 years. She was in the Spanish club for 4 years. Varsity cheerleader, 10th and 11th grade. She was captain 11th grade year. She was in FFA forestry team, 11th grade year, and they placed 6th at the state. She was the Cherubusco High School representative for the Whitley County Youth Leadership, 10th grade year. New Era, 9th and 10th grade. Volleyball, tennis, and spring musical, 9th grade. Academically, Lily has taken many of our dual credit and advanced placement courses. Last year, Lily earned a 5 on the AP U.S. History exam out of 5. She also was our nominee for the Indiana Academic All-Star for Cherubusco High School. And Lily, daughter of Dan and Jana Heil, she plans to attend Indiana University Bloomington, pursuing a major in law and public policy. Congratulations to you on your many successes and best wishes in the bright future. Morgan Schaefer. Morgan is this year's salutatorian of the class of 22. She also was highly involved during her 4 years. She participated in the Health Sciences program at the Anthos Career Center in Fort Wayne for 2 years. She was a 2-year member of the National Honor Society. She is also a 2-year member of the National Technical Honor Society through Anthos. Recently, she was a 3rd place finisher at the state HOSA competition in medical assisting. She has been a member of the Busco FFA livestock teams that have won national and state competitions. She has been a leader in FFA as a reporter and secretary. She has been an officer for student activities and fundraiser for HOSA and a leader in student council. She has been involved in volleyball, basketball, and golf while in high school. She has been highly active as a 4-H member, participating in many livestock and indoor projects. She is a member of the St. Michael Lutheran Church and is active in their youth program. Morgan, who is the daughter of Lauren and Lisa Schaefer, plans to attend Purdue University West Lafayette, pursuing a major in nursing. She plans on working as a Veterans Affairs nurse, and then she plans to attend graduate school to become a nurse practitioner. Congratulations to you on your many successes. Congratulations.
Get pictures.
Congratulations.
You two stand right there. We'll stand behind you for a photo real quick.
We're good. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for joining us. All right, let's move to moment of meditation. Please join me. All right, thank you, everyone. The mission of Smith Green Community Schools is to provide a superior educational experience that ensures success for every student through excellence in teaching and learning. Okay, is there anyone who's going to speak on anything on the agenda? Later?
Oh, I'm off topic, yeah.
Okay. I won't give my spiel. Yeah. All right, so let's move to the consent.
All right, thank you, board. Welcome, guests, and half our guests left, but you're here with us. Board tonight, your consent agenda, some pretty standard items here. This is our last board meeting before the school year is out. Next time we see each other will be in the summer. So, a few things. Board minutes from our 2 meetings that were held recently, our last regular meeting and then our executive session. A few professionals here, again, to round out accounts payable, of course. We want to highlight a few donations. We have 8 donations this month, so excellent things. So I do want to name each of these very quickly. AJ Machine Incorporated, $1,000 donation to the athletic department, specifically to the baseball team. There's an anonymous donation of $500 to the elementary school for the cause of the referral wall, which I know I've spoken about before, so very generous as we're getting ready to make that a permanent addition to the office. So thank you to that anonymous donor. An anonymous donation of $1,500 to the athletic department, also going to the baseball team. Thank you to Brevins for $300 donations to the archery team. The VFW Post 3846, $200 to the baseball team. Duffin Associates, $1,000 to the athletic department baseball team. Scott and Dina Jackway, $1,000 to the archery team. And finally, Star Insurance, $250 to the baseball team. So as always, I know we say it every time, but board, we can't say enough thank yous to how generous members of our community are for the great way they support our kids and our activities. And then beyond that, just a couple of final field trips here at the end of the year, Paige Crossing trip and the senior class trip to Kings Island coming up at the end of the month. And then one additional proposed fundraiser there, trying to raise some extra funds for our BPA club, Visual Vegetables and American Club there. So that is everything on the consent agenda.
All right. A motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
The first and second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you. And thanks for all the donations, of course. All right. Okay.
All right, board, next item here is the personnel agenda. We have quite a long list, so I'm not going to read each of these, but I do want to highlight a few, especially here in the second half. So a variety of folks being recommended tonight for all of our summer coursework, whether that's advanced PE or Apex work and so forth. So that's our first 6 items there. But I do want to highlight the last 2. So number 7, Mr. Cooper. I know you all know by now, but I'm very sad to bring this to you, but excited for him and his family. He has submitted a letter of resignation for his last day being at the end of the school year. He has accepted a position at another district closer to home. So big thank you. He sends his best. He's at the other board meeting tonight. Otherwise he'd be here. We will not hold it against him.
I know. I would give my 2 cents. So I'm going to say that. I'm here next time.
I do believe he's going to be here in June because I know he definitely wants to see all of you again. So again, we do wish him well, even though that is certainly a bittersweet move. Mrs. Graves has submitted her letter of resignation at the end of the year here, so I want to thank her for her years here at Smith Green. We are recommending tonight that Ms. Jessica Hanley be employed as our speech language pathologist. This is the position board that you created last month. Just as a reminder quickly for everyone, she currently works in our building as a co-op employee, Just makes much more sense for us and for her to become our employee now as a permanent member. So very excited to bring her for you today. Are recommending also Ms. Mackenzie Hart be employed as a new 5th grade teacher in elementary school to replace Mrs. Morelli. Additionally, recommending Mrs. Melissa Hauser as the other 5th grade teacher for that vacancy there, who would replace Mrs. Rector. Ms. Cora Pence, who is here with us this evening, welcome Cora, is being recommended as a 2nd grade teacher, replacing Ms. Zoller, who is retiring. We announced that a few months ago there. And then lastly here, Ms. Madison Simmons, a paraprofessional at the elementary school, has submitted resignation notice for the end of the school year also, so wish her well also as she goes to her future. So, with that board, I'll take any questions. Otherwise, I recommend you approve personnel agenda as presented.
Any questions? We're going to do one thing. So I'm going to pull number 10 out. So we can just go ahead and do, unless you have questions or comments for anything. For the other 12, we'll do a motion in a second, and then we'll do this number 10 separate, and then all out to abstain. And by the way, good choices, especially one.
I motion to approve the personnel agenda.
And I'll second.
All right, and we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All right, and then with number 10, Ms. Mackenzie Hart employee, we'll leave that separate one, so I'll need a first and a second, and of course I'm going to abstain.
I'll make the motion to accept number 10 as presented.
And I'll do the second.
All right, I have a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
4, I'll abstain. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, board.
Cora,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and I also want to say, Mrs. Graves, it's a loss, of course, and Mrs. Simmons for leading. You've been a great asset to us, and then we've also gained some great assets too. So, all right. Anything for?
Nothing for the legislative report.
Okay. Let's move on to other business.
Okay. Mr. Collins is here with us this evening. Board, you did receive in your packet some information about a math textbook adoption that was recently worked through by the team there. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Collins. Has anything additional to share on that beyond what was in the packet? And answer any of your questions.
I don't have anything additional. If you have any questions, I know that the math department started this process in December. They participated both virtually and in person with textbook caravans. They looked at textbooks that were actually physical textbooks along with digital, just knowing what we expect in our community, more of a hybrid approach, and they have been able to do that. They asked parents to be involved in the review process. They did review the materials and agreed with the choices. And we're recommending the textbooks that are on the second page to be adopted.
Questions, comments?
My only comment with this was, and we had some previous discussion just for clarification, I would like to make sure that when we're going through this process that we're making sure that we have multiple non-employees. Sounded like we only had maybe one in this instance, but we reached out to some others that weren't available or weren't interested. I'd like to make sure that, that we go ahead and find 2 additional people to replace the 2 that maybe we originally sought after, to make sure that we're getting that community buy-in.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have.
Thank you. I would agree with that.
Are textbooks generally looked at during the school day when you guys do the approval process?
It was open after hours too.
I'll make a motion to approve the junior-senior high mathematics textbook and courseware.
I'll second.
I got a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, next.
Board. Back to Mr. Collins again. just bringing forth here some recommendations for courseware rental fees, so textbook rental fees for next school year. Again, I know they've done a nice job here kind of laying that out and showing increases, decreases, but again, if you have any questions, he is the authority on that. Or if there's anything to add or highlight, there, Mr. Collins.
Just to highlight anything in red is an increase over previous years for the previous year. Even with the new math curriculum, most of the new books would actually be a decrease in savings, so that's actually beneficial. I think some of down the bottom miscellaneous, there was increases just because technology has increased. There's more people that are using Canvas and BrainPop and Edpuzzle. That was one that was increased over the last year or so. Many schools were using Edpuzzle or the virtual platform or extra resources for teachers.
Say, as I reviewed this, other than AP Calculus was the only one, everything else was $2 or less of an increase. Most were less than $1 of an increase, so that's good. AP Calculus a little bit more, about $9, I think.
I appreciate the effort for our families. I know a lot of things are going up in price since we've had maybe a couple of years that people are trying to make up for us. This was good to see.
Yeah.
I wondered what would happen.
I agree, absolutely. Anytime I see something that it comes to the cost of something, I cringe. Worrying that it's will have increased dramatically, and clearly we've done a really nice job of maintaining costs and keeping things as low as possible. So I certainly appreciate that.
Any other questions, comments? All right. Motions.
I'll make the motion to accept this as presented.
I'll second that. All right. First and second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you.
All right, next item, approval of technology purchase. So, board, as you know, about every 6 months, we do look at a common school loan to help fund our technology. It's a very low interest loan that the state provides for schools to help fund some technology purposes so that it doesn't eat away at our operation funds. And so one of the things that Mr. Uckman has done a phenomenal job these last few years is really doing what he can to not use the full amount that we could take out. There was a time when we were taking just about every dollar we could get, and he has done a phenomenal job of managing the future plan for that and trying really hard to stay within our means, and tonight is no exception. So again, I'm going to turn it over to him just really quick to highlight what he's recommending this evening and answer your questions.
So good evening, board. For this common school loan purchase, you see that it's not to exceed $69,589.89. The maximum we could take was roughly $117,000, so we're well under that this time around. Normally every spring we purchase about 300 to 350 Chromebooks. We don't have to do that this time. We had got some emergency connectivity funding through the government, and we were able to purchase those Chromebooks with that government funding. So this spring, we're not purchasing any Chromebooks, which is a huge savings for us. However, we are going to look at purchasing some interactive panels from a company called Clever Touch. And last common school loan in December, you approved the purchase for 10 of these. We have them and have them installed, or 8 of them installed in our kindergarten and first grade rooms. And as Mr. Weinstetter can attest, they are amazing. The teachers love them. So we're going to go ahead and round out the elementary building with these. So we're going to look at 28 more. So that's going to finish out the elementary building, and that's going to put 5 in our high school building as well in our math classrooms. So that's the bulk of this common school loan. We're going to get them all at once rather than spacing them out for the next 2 to 3 years, since we have this, not extra money, but money we're not using for Chromebooks. We have a lockdown browser that we're going to purchase. That is a piece of software that gets installed on Chromebooks so that kids, when they're taking tests and quizzes, it increases security. of those tests and quizzes, so they can't leave the testing environment to go look up answers and stuff like that. That's become an issue. The other thing we're going to get is some Chromebook chargers, so 75 replacement chargers, just to take care of kids that lose theirs or break theirs, or if we need extra. So we're using Common School loan funding for that. So again, we're about $50,000 under our maximum this time around, which I think about the best we've ever done. So if you have questions, I'm available.
The panels, those are the new panels that we were testing, right?
Correct.
We started out testing those to see how we like it.
We had
compared to like, is it smart boards?
We brought a demo unit in. Teachers went in and tested with it. We played with it, and they absolutely fell in love with it. So we went ahead and bought 10 of them. Again, 8 of them are installed now in the K1 rooms, and they are amazing. I'm kind of a nerd, and they're just fun to play with. So, and Matt has seen them in use and been in the classrooms, and they're really, really fun.
And the browser, I assume, will that necessarily be loaded on all Chromebooks, or is that more for the older kids?
It's for all Chromebooks. It's easier to do all rather than grade by grade. Obviously, it's going to be used more in the junior, senior high buildings, because I think in 3, 4, and 5, there's options there for them as well.
Okay, so that was my concern is with the younger kids, if they go to take a test on you, obviously their attention span. I know my college kids have it where like if you're looking away, and I assume that that's what we're talking about.
It is. It just keeps their attention there. They don't have any option to get out of it without the teacher knowing.
Yeah.
It keeps them in that one single browser. They can't print anything. They can't Google anything on that device. Obviously, they have a separate device next to them that they can use that. But it does keep their attention.
But the teacher turns it on and off, right?
Yeah. So the teacher
okay,
can. Sorry.
Gotcha. It's all gotcha.
Yeah, the teacher can opt to give a test quiz without using this browser. Yeah, it's a toggle feature. Right there. Yeah,
that would be my concern.
So most of the time, the vendor knows there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Correct. Anybody else? Any questions? Comments? I'll motion to approve the technology purchase.
I can second.
And a first and a second, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Sarah? Thank you. As always.
Appreciate it. I have some comments at the end about a new website, so we'll talk about that.
It's blameless.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. So you feel good talking about this next one? Is Derry good?
How you doing today, everyone?
Is Derry good?
Very good.
More about this than me. I basically say this is giving me information, but Jody might have more information than that.
This is actually just renewing, so in the past, we have purchased our food products through food to school agreement. Dairy and bread were always purchased through Region 8. Aunt Millie's is not offering bids anymore, so we don't have a separate bread bid. That's all going through the food to school now. So she has to order, so Elise has to order the bread now all through, it's all frozen, it comes in frozen, and comes through Gordon Food Service, which is who won the bid. So basically, this is just extending our bid, our renewal with Region 8 to go with the low bid for the region for our milk, our dairy products. And that would be Prairie Farms, who won that. So this is just extending that another year.
Any questions on this one?
Pretty much it's the same as food to school. By going through like Region 8 or food to school, we're satisfying that whole procurement where we have to go out and get 3 bids for each product. This just takes care of all that for us. So
I'll motion to approve the renewal for the dairy bid.
I'll second.
First and second, all those in favor? Aye. All right, and we move on to our favorite, number 6 move.
Alright. So board, last month I know it was probably technically first reading because we had, these were loaded in and ready to go. But obviously, as I warned you, leading up to that, this was a significant update of quite a few here. So again, tonight, they're still in here. If you're ready to vote, you can certainly vote. If you still need some more time to review, that's fine also, but just want to have them on here. Or if you have questions or discussion, we can do that also.
So I'm going to pose a question.
No.
Come on! So, would anyone want to be kind of the point person here on Neola? And just be one of those people that just go into it and really dive into it, rather than just breezing? Someone that would, basically just highlight, as Dan already does the highlighting, you work with him.
Yeah, and if I can give a little more maybe context what Jeremy's asking. So Jeremy and I met a week ago just to catch up on some things. We were talking about this, and I said when I first came on the board, I think it was Nick at the time, was kind of the board's point person on Neola, and he kind of went a little more in depth, and I felt like maybe it was the person to kind of help the other board kind of keep up with some of those things. With the understanding that I'm still going through all of them and making my recommendations like I always do. I would assume that kind of got started because everyone's busy and some folks it just takes a while to get through that, and so he kind of ran as the point board person. So we just talked about that idea a week or so ago. So.
And I would add that Nick also went through the existing policies and reviewed those to see if there was anything.
Yeah.
So I know it's not like there's a lot of people jumping to do this, but I will do this for the group. I haven't looked at that and done that. Dean Geiger did it ahead of Ned. My contribution to Neola was to help Mike service. His wife was so good to put up with everything all over their dining room table for months when we first got it. And so I sat down with him and looked at things. But I can come back and do that for this group unless there's someone else. No.
Weird.
I would not know why. But a big thank you, Kathy.
It's probably come full circle. I need to do that.
I say, I'm hearing you say that the new board members were spoiled. They weren't here when these used to come in paper format.
Oh, yeah.
They used to send us a box this thick each time, and then we make copies of those after everyone did that thing to give to everyone. So when she says on the dining room table, she literally means it was stacks of policies. So now it's all digital, which is much better for everyone. So.
Well, thank you, Kathy.
Congratulations.
What's the salary for that?
Yeah.
So again, board, I know we talked about it last month. We have a main update. There was a special update with some non-discrimination and harassment policies they wanted to review, and then there were those two specific policies that Tim had just recommended we take on. We have a few little tweaks there. So again, if you still like another month, they can certainly stay right there and come back. But if you feel like you've had enough time to review what you're going to review and are ready to move, you can certainly vote tonight also. But that is the board's decision. So
Thoughts? Comments? Ready, not ready?
I would like more time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Is there a cutoff you want to?
No.
Okay.
You can take as much time as you like. I will tell you this. Our rep reached out last week to schedule the next one
Oh, okay.
next month to meet with me. So
let's
one on
wrap
its
it up.
heels, so it wouldn't take so much longer.
Yeah.
Another one's good as you can in the hopper for you. So yeah, but it's fine if you need some more time.
When's the next one? Is the next meeting?
18th sounds better for some reason. That's right.
That's that's Saturday.
June
So the 20th.
June 20th. It's the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So June 20th. All right.
Yeah, if we wrap
Work
it
on
up
that.
and
I will take that then. So. All right. Let's move on to then public comments, which we have one. So let me get my little speedo. So anybody wishing to speak? Everybody tell me. No, I'm sorry. No, you're fine.
I'm so excited. It's still wet.
There's only one on there, and they sign the book so they can speak. Each speaker, and then we've got 3 minutes, and speaking time is 3 minutes total time, 30. They're going to have to All right. So I need everybody to have to do our introductions. And you don't have to. You can actually come because I can see everybody today. So you can just give your name and brief statement while you're here. Please. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Abby Weber, and I'm a parent. Casey Taxi, parent. Amy Jagger, 5th grade teacher. Cora Pitts, just hired.
5th grade teacher. Well, 2nd grade. Second grade.
Surprise. Nate Thomas, 5th grade teacher.
Adam Booter, parent.
David Uckman, technology director.
Matt Monseller, CES principal.
Jim Fallon, Bosco Junior Senior High School principal.
All right, okay. So, Nate Thomas, 5th grade teacher. A couple weeks ago, high school performed the spring play. This is my first full year where I've done 2 productions. I just had a couple words to share. I had some directions. I wrote it down, and I think it's pretty good, so I'm just going to share that with you instead of coming up with new things to say. I'm a teacher because I love to teach. It's a core part of who I am. As an elementary teacher, I have a very brief period to get to know and work with my students, a drop in the bucket in the ocean of their lives. So my colleagues can attest, I often view things through a very specific lens, and that is usually what's the lesson? What are kids taking away from what we're doing? Naturally, this guides my daily approach to math and reading and social studies. If I want my students to be able to simplify fractions, I have to demonstrate how to do that consistently. It's also, however, a driving force in how I interact with my students on a daily basis, as well as with my colleagues and with their parents. If I want my students to show patience and empathy and kindness and cooperation and dependability, etc., I have to sincerely demonstrate those with them and with others. My students are always watching me, and they have very sharp eyes. They see everything. The point is that these skills are learned, and they have to be practiced. They have to be reinforced and honed, and the performing arts is a space that provides that practice and gives kids a chance to strengthen these crucial principles that build a vibrant and healthy community. The talented young people that I work with have to expect much from themselves as well as depend on others. They have to see and feel circumstances from perspectives other than their own, which is a truly useful and worthwhile capability that seems to be depreciating in value. Rather than getting stronger. They're patient with each other when there are mistakes because they know very well the next mistake might be them, and they'll be the one who's in need of having grace shown to them. These are the things that I hold on to when I work with these young people. I love performing and creating and putting on a show that everyone enjoys, but that's not my first love. My first love is teaching. And doing the programs with the kids is a passion I didn't know I had, but I'm not surprised because I will teach anything. I just love teaching. So when I work with these kids, I often find myself, again, asking that question, what's the lesson? What are these kids taking away from it? And when I see them, the way that they work with each other and interact with each other, I have my answer, and I'm proud of them. Thank you, those of you who were able to come to the shows, or if you went to SPEC this past weekend, I saw several of you there. These kids work darn hard, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with them. That being said, I'm already thinking about the next thing. Coming up in the fall, we're doing Cinderella. Hopefully you can bring kids and the family, and it's going to be a good time. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Board member, administrator comments.
Absolutely. First, just want to welcome all of our new teachers that were hired this evening, so welcome. But also wanted to just talk a little bit about the process. As I chat with my peers around the state, there's a teacher shortage, and it's amazing to me every time we have an opening. I think 2nd grade I had 25 applicants, 5th grade we had 15, or 5th grade, excuse me, we had 15. So I think that really shows that people want to come here. And just really want to thank the committees, my teachers who long nights interviewing people and helped me arrive on those decisions. But I just think it's really neat that, not that there's a teacher shortage, but that people want to come to Busco. And we've created that environment that people want to teach here. So I think that attests to our kids and to our teachers. So it was pretty neat having that many applicants for those positions. So we're fully staffed now, minus an assistant principal. We won't talk about that right now. Also going on today, we started meeting our newest Eagles. We started our kindergarten screening today in here. So central office got to see what it's like to see 4 and 5-year-olds running around here trying to get them to do things. So we're doing that today and tomorrow. We're very excited to meet all of those new kiddos. I think we're going to have another big class of kindergartners. So very excited about that. Wanted to send a special thanks to our PTO this year. They've kind of rebuilt this year and have just provided so many things for our staff, but also for our kids. We had a great Teacher Appreciation Week, plus then all the father-daughter dances, the mother-son bingo, our literacy night. Anything I've asked for, they've been there. So we've got a core group of parents who are willing to help out, and we're hoping to grow. So we're going to set up at registration this year or open house different areas for them to interact with to try to get more people to help with that load. We finished iLearn a couple weeks ago. Couldn't be more proud of our kids and our teachers for prepping them. I think you hear a lot about testing anxiety and kids getting upset, and I didn't see that once. And I think that's because we just ask kids to do their best. We don't see them as a number. We see them as kids. And they tried their best. They saw the magnitude of it, but also didn't get freaked out about it either. So with that being said, now we're in NWEA. So it's test right after spring break, but they're handling it like champs. Like the high school, we're also looking at math adoption. For the last 6 months, year or so, I feel, we've been looking at different math programs. We've had a committee. We've narrowed it down. We're going to open it up to, I guess, a viewing party for parents to be able to come in and check those out and just interact with them and then provide me with some feedback on those. So that's happening yet this week. Field Week has started this week. We moved with COVID to a week-long. I guess 2 years ago, moved to it, and the kids love it every day during Connect. They get to do that. Tomorrow, Kona Ice is coming in, so they'll be able to have that. That was all funded through donations also. A lot of special things going on. Our 5th grade awards, they're having a 5th grade party at Pages Crossing. Just a bunch of fun things. This week we're also celebrating our retirees, Donna and Lorraine. We're having a retirement party at St. James on Thursday. We've begun thinking about summer projects. We've got a big overhaul going on at CES. The boards, 2nd grade's getting all new furniture, paint, carpet. Our lounge is being redone. Our positive office referral is going to be permanent. It was kind of cool. I had a picture when we first put it up, and now it's hard to find room to sign that. So it's been pretty cool to watch that. And that's kind of what's going on at CES.
Thank you.
We have a lot of exciting things going on as well, mostly athletics. So we have the boys NECC champs. The girls finished second. Our junior high girls won the conference. So outstanding there. Nate brings up New Era, New Generation spec over the weekend. They did an outstanding job there. Going along with that, we had the art showcase in the library. So we have outstanding fine arts kids and very proud of them. FFA finished 7th. This is the livestock judging team, 7th in the state. Morgan Schaefer, she was here tonight. Her sister was on it, Lady Parker and Holly Howard. And this is awards week. So we have underclass awards. So that's grades 9 through 11 tomorrow morning, breakfast. We have junior high awards on Thursday at 7 p.m. And then we have the senior awards. So that's scholarship and the awards, that's Friday afternoon. And we too are finishing up all of the major tests. It has been hats off to the kids, to the teachers and proctors, teachers preparing the kids. So we had iLearn at the beginning of April, just finished that at the beginning of May. We had AP testing, just finished that last week, and we're going to try to squeeze in NWA between now and Friday. So that's where we are. We continue with remodeling classrooms. We are almost completely finished with the hallway, 8th grade all the way down to the junior hallway, recarpeting, painting, etc. We're excited for the interactive TVs for the math people. Math teachers had a difficult time manipulating the smart board and being able to write on it. We tried different things. Dave brought this to us. Our math people went down and played with it. Saw some demonstrations through Mrs. Johnson, and they're excited to have that. So again, we're just continuing to move forward, and we're excited to finish up the year.
I think, board, you know about our upcoming new website that is planned to go live on June 6th. Along with that is I guess it's just an app, but it is designed just for us. So there'll be a mobile app that will be available. It's actually available now. But we're going to start sending information out to the community regarding our new website design on the 6th. We're going to lead everybody to get that app. They can get notifications. Everything they need to know about the school can be found on the app. So that's coming. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully you guys can take a peek at it here soon. Let us know what you think. And again, that's going to go live June 6th. That's the planned date.
I have things. I know.
You usually do.
I usually don't have anything during this time. The insurance committee met today with Ari Sutton. Ari Sutton is our insurance broker for, in the past couple of years since we left the SEBT Consortium for Health Insurance. They were our insurance broker for health coverage. So they helped us bring PHP, partnership with PHP, and at the time when we brought them on board, I knew in the future that we wanted to talk to them also about our ancillary insurances, dental, health, dental and vision, and LTD, long-term disability, that kind of stuff. So I was able to reach out to them a couple months ago and have them start looking for some different options for those insurances. Met today with them, and they have some really good news for us. We're able to, for life insurance, we're able to maintain the same vendor, but get better rates. We're able to, with long-term disability, we will be switching vendors if the insurance committee decides so and you all approve it, better rates. The corporation pays for that, so the employees won't necessarily see a change in rates there, but the corporation will see a savings. And then on dental and vision, they were able to find way better rates for policies that were either the same or even better policies. So as we sort through all that and we meet with the insurance committee again and just see what they want to do, we'll be bringing that to you guys in June. Looking to move January 1 date for vision, dental, and one of the life insurances, and then a July 1 date for the other, for long-term disability and the other. So we're just looking at some things, and we'll be bringing you guys some. So good news for our employees, good news for the corporation, and a couple of those ancillary insurances were still being managed by SEBT, that old consortium that we were part of, so this will break us completely free from them, so that's also a good thing. So another thing I want to talk to you guys about is a program that is offered, I'm going to hand these out to you guys. A program that's offered through the state that will help us collect some of our outstanding textbook fees. This is a program, and I think our town of Churubusco uses it as well. A lot of like towns and the schools are starting to catch on to it. But basically what it does is it gives us the option to submit to the state any outstanding debt that we have. And they'll match it with taxpayers' social security numbers. And if that taxpayer is expected to receive a tax refund, they'll tap into that and they can send the money owed to the school before the taxpayer actually gets their refund. So there's no cost to the program. The only cost would be an option for us is if we wanted to have, there's an outside organization who can do the letters to the people who owe for textbook fees. It's a $2 charge. Currently, we pay our the business that we go through or the corporation that we go through to collect textbook fees for us. We pay $6 a seat for anybody that we have to send a collection. We're paying $6 a seat. So this would be a $2 charge for the letter for them to send out. And my understanding is the letter, and there's a sample of the letter in this paperwork. There's the letter basically just tells them that that the money is owed to the school, that they are expected to receive a tax refund, that money will be sent to the school. They will also charge that taxpayer a $20 fee But this letter basically tells them that they have 30 days to come and pay the outstanding debt before that happens. So they do have the option to avoid the $20 penalty and just get it taken care of before it comes from their taxes. The schools that have used it are raving about it. They said that most times people do come in and just pay the debt. It never actually ends up coming from their taxes because they do just come in and pay the debt prior to that. So just something for you guys to look over. I will bring it back to you because we'll have to have a resolution signed. I have to send Trex a copy of the resolution that's signed by the board agreeing to participate in this program. So it's pretty straightforward, but there's a frequently asked question page and a sample of that letter, and then just some things that they point out for you guys to know about before I bring it back to you in June.
Just off the cuff, how big a problem is this?
It's kind of a problem. It really is. I should have looked up. I don't know how many parents we've sent to collection for last year, but unfortunately, we usually have 30 to 40% outstanding debt still at the end of the school year that we end up. A lot of times we do see payments come in those last couple weeks of school. Then over the summer is when my office staff will start sending off to collection. Pretty much everybody's gotten the final letter for now, like saying that, as of May 24th, it needs to be paid, and if not, then it'll be sent to collection over the summer. But unfortunately, we do have quite a few. I know. And I think it's gotten a little bit, honestly, it's increased a little bit with COVID, and all the students receiving free and reduced, or like all of the students receiving free meals. The parents who normally would apply for lunch assistance can also get textbook assistance by basically just checking a box on that application. Well, parents aren't being required to fill out that application, so a lot of them are being missed. And we try to make sure parents know, if they call in or we know that we're sending them letters, if you feel like you need to apply for assistance, please do. So we do try to stress that. It is, unfortunately, it's a bigger problem than what most would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I have something along that lines. There was a time that the state was actually tracking the number of people that we had applied for assistance, and then they were maybe offering something to our district based on that. And so I guess I'm kind of concerned if people are not.
So it factors in the complexity formula of the Food Safety Facing grant.
Yes.
We don't have hands on that. I believe that shifted away from free and reduced now. It tracks through SNAP and TANF. So families who qualify for those specific assistance programs then get affected, and we do receive some additional assistance because, generally speaking, more of a poverty population you have, there's going to need to be some extra services the school's probably providing. So we try to account for that and offer some additional resources. It shifted.
So we don't really have to have those numbers because it's taking away from
the free and reduced applications directly benefit the family. And Jody's right. Every school, it was a great thing for families that all meals have been free the last couple of years. That's really helped a lot of families out. But the trade-off was suddenly they just didn't want to fill out these papers anymore. Well, the textbooks didn't come with that automatically. You still need to file that. And every school has been trying to remind families and get that out. But lunches you're reminded every day because your kid is making charges. This only comes up a couple of times a year, and then every school I'm sure is sending letters and letters trying to remind folks and get them to get that training if they qualify.
I appreciate your efforts to get them assistance when they need it.
And for what it's worth, this is people who do qualify. That information is very, very confidential. That's one of the most guarded pieces of information out there. I couldn't tell you a single person who's on it because I'm not authorized to know that information. It stays very tight. But once again, that also almost makes us a challenge because we can't reach out directly. Hey, we know you would get this, apply. You know, for obvious reasons, that's very sensitive information. But it makes it difficult because we kind of just take general reminders that if you think you might qualify, perhaps you should fill out this form. So.
And as we talk about the textbook adoptions and so the money that we collect for textbook fees, for the textbook and the consumable portion of those textbook fees, that goes into a whole separate fund, all for itself. It's the textbook fund that can only be spent to purchase new textbooks. And so it is really important that we collect our textbook fees because that money that goes in there then is what we spend to buy new curriculum with. And so, you know, if we don't have the money in there, then we have to start negotiating with the textbook vendors, you know, can we pay this out in a 4-year period? And the textbook fund is a fund that struggles. And a lot of it is because we do have some outstanding debt out there. But it is important that we collect on it so that we can continue to purchase the new courseware is coming up. So I just think that this is, I first learned about this last November, and it was at a business manager meeting, and I've since then been able to look at it a little bit deeper, and I talked to a couple other business managers who do use it, and they said it has made a world of difference in collecting. So those business managers have completely gotten rid of their collection agency that they used to contract with, and they go strictly through this now. So I think it's a little bit less expensive, obviously, for the corporation. So we're saving tax dollar money by not paying $6 an account to go. So, but in the meantime, if you guys want to take a look at this, and in the meeting, between now and the June meeting, if you have any questions, you want me to look into it a little bit more, or whatever, just let me know. And otherwise, I plan to bring something back to you guys in June. A couple more things, sorry. The auction, we're going to have an auction this year. It's going to be the online auction, kind of like what we did with those wrestling mats. They will be coming on June 22nd to take pictures. The online auction itself will be held on July 5th, and then everything will be picked up on July 7th and 8th. So that is happening. There should be a lot of stuff. I think there's a lot of stuff coming out of the basement, the dungeon, the storage unit out back. We have 8 more classrooms worth of furniture. There's a lot of stuff that should go into that auction. And then I just want to give you guys a really quick rundown on the summer projects and where we're at with some of the stuff that we had put on our capital project plan. Our high school and middle school gym floors are scheduled to be refinished. We do have some repair on some of the boards in the high school gym, but this is the first time we've actually had to tear up some boards and replace them since the new HVAC project. So before we were replacing, oh my gosh, 15, 20 boards a year. So this is really good news. I think that HVAC, just keeping that temperature more consistent is actually helping the floor in that high school gym. So the kindergarten restrooms are done except for the partitions inside. Door 22, back by the cafeteria, by the elementary cafeteria. I think Dr. Heil talked about this before. That is finally an ADA accessible door. That's the only door on that side of the building that is ADA. That is done. It's being used currently. Door 23 is the elementary drop-off and pickup door. That whole door frame is being replaced. The side windows, everything is being replaced. It was really rusty, so that is being replaced. That is at a cost of almost $18,000. So that is happening over the summer. Door 8, which is over by the high school art room. It's the old superintendent's entrance. Anybody that remembers? Yeah. And then also doors 3 and 4, which are the elementary gym doors. Those are the same. They're all rusted, and so we'll be replacing the frames and the windows and the doors and everything in those. That is scheduled to happen this summer as well. We had on our plan to replace the ticket booth out by the football and track area. We had talked to an architect, to our architect a while back, and he estimated that. He kind of came up with some plans, and he estimated that at about $180,000, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. So, yeah. So that is just still being thought about. I think we're just gonna go with a much smaller. We wanted to combine the ticket booth with a concession stand, and it's just, yeah, it just came in way too much. I just can't justify that. So that is on hold for a moment until we rethink what we need to do out there. So along with that is the asphalt. There's some gravel out there right now. We don't want to do anything with that until we decide what we're going to do and put some asphalt down and get everything done at once. So not sure that will happen in 2022. That might actually get pushed out to 2023. We're still just talking about that. The front and the back parking lots are scheduled to be resealed and restriped. Mr. Kreider has that scheduled, and we'll be doing that over the summer. The senior high main entrance, I don't know if anyone has noticed, but in the front it's all chipping, cracking. That concrete right in front of the main door is chipping and cracking, and I had that on our capital project list to do something with. And Mr. Kreider was able to find the old print when that was put down in 2012, and it looks like the slab actually goes underneath the doors and it goes partway into that vestibule area. So I have reached out to the architect. We're going to have to get them involved because we can't just simply replace that concrete in front of the doors. It goes underneath. So the architect will have to get involved in that. So that is yet to be determined what exactly is going to happen there. But it's also starting now to raise the threshold of the doors, so the doors we're having trouble getting the doors to close because now it's rubbing. So we're going to have to do something with that whole entryway before long. I think.
There was water coming in there. Is that what that's about? Is because of the concrete?
I don't think that area is water.
Okay.
And I don't understand why the concrete's cracking away. Is it the
Crazy.
way?
It's only 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's not very old.
It sounds like
And if the footer was deep enough, big enough, it
Well,
shouldn't be heating.
it sounds like
Doors either.
the
Unless there's a water
architect.
problem.
It sounds like the architect. It was like a hole, and they just put like some metal, almost like metal studs across it. And it's like a void under there, and so everything has settled, and that's where the cracking is coming from. But the thresholds, they think is the aluminum threshold is like the salt has created buildup on that aluminum, and it's raised it up. So it's kind of a mess. So it was a different architectural firm. Yes, yes. So our current architectural firm is the one that I will have a look at that and figure out what we need to do to correct that problem. So that was on our capital projects list, although I'm not really sure anything will happen in 2022 with that. Not sure yet. Mr. Kreider was talking to some local excavators who did submit bids to get those houses demolished. So basically just working that into the schedule. The classrooms, the principals did talk about the classrooms already, the carpet, the paint, the furniture, and the elementary office, that wall, and the canopies. So the entrances the poles that are out in front, those are the entrances. The elementary is the worst. It's got some rust on it. Mr. Kreider's trying to find someone who can come out and sandblast those and press them correctly and get those painted and get them taken care of. So that is scheduled. I mean, it's not scheduled to happen. That needs to happen. He's still searching for someone to take care of that for us. Landscaping around the administrative office will be done prior to graduation. At least the major part of it. I mean, I think we'll continue to add some things here and there as the years go by, but the main part of it will be done. The island, and like the island out there, we will be doing something with that. once we get the whole traffic flow plan completely figured out. I think we're pretty close to. We're gonna meet tomorrow morning, to go over that, but there's a major traffic flow issue out here for drop off and pick up. And so Mrs. Geiger had, our engineer come from Purdue to look at it, and she was able to give us some ideas, and I think we've narrowed it down to what we want to do. We talked with Jeremy and with Chad, and we'll be talking to the principals tomorrow about that. So once we get that whole traffic flow plan in place, or we can do something with the island. So, the landscaping in front of the school building, we're looking at either this coming fall or next spring. It doesn't look terrible out there right now. We want to do some things, get some shrubs or something in there, but for now, for over the summer, it doesn't. It looks good. Talked about the auction, and then our safety grant. The things that have been happening with that, the security window film for both the elementary and the junior senior high windows, handheld radio replacement. We've been working on a program, so we're going to get as many of those handheld radios replaced as possible. 2 AEDs have been purchased, and then plans to make this building more secure, where it would be kind of like the school, where you have to buzz in and be allowed to come into the building. Window film, and then cameras on this building as well. That's kind of a rundown of all of our capital projects. It is a busy year this year. It is. I did, sorry. You got me.
I didn't start.
You may ask questions.
We were looking at the lines too, as board members, and you have some questions about some of the signs that are on the outside. Does that make sense? Like the ones telling people not to.
The person who's running point on that isn't here tonight.
Oh, okay.
And I sent a response back today about that. They have accounted for those signs in these drawings. I think they're actually looking at creating a new sign setup to kind of remove them from the image altogether. But they do have to be posted. But they do have to be posted exterior. They need to be before someone enters the building.
Okay.
I think 46 Graphics is coming up with something new where it can also be, the signs will be able to be adjusted to a little easier than just a sticker like they are now. So, again, I sent an email today. You probably didn't see it yet.
I did, but I like to see the rendering.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm actually glad you brought it up because I wasn't even thinking about those signs at first when you asked, but Luke's on it. They had already talked about that hey, these will need to be moved if we're going to have this big image, otherwise it's going to bizarre in the middle of this image. So.
Can they be printed on the graphic, like on the side door?
Probably,
like built into it?
And if something changes, now that whole graphic will have to change because every now and then those are very legally worded language items that sometimes we say everyone must replace your signs because the lawyers will determine this needs to say this now. So I think they're designing something separate that can easily be switched without disrupting.
Okay, good. Because I'm just worried that they'll get lost.
Yeah. Because if you remember, I mean, when you go over there, there's ones reminding people that the building's under camera surveillance, the drug-free campus, different.
And then there's a big diamond safe place on this one, and there's another one on that one, and they're just hodgepodge.
And again, I think in that same email, we can certainly look at even just doing a dark tint or something on those side ones that are not part of the door structure. That's an easy addition. It's cheaper than the printing vinyl. It's just dark. So,
Thank you for addressing that, but I'd love to see the renderings of where they end up.
Yeah.
Is it required a number? Like there's 2 of each. Is that required, or are there?
How
specific are those rules?
No, it's more just again one of those legal things. It's posted before someone walks in the building, so someone can't say, "Well, I had no idea it was under camera surveillance when I came in." Well, it's on the door.
Right.
Same thing. Well, I didn't know I couldn't bring drugs into the school. Well, it's on the door. I would think you would know that, but in case you didn't, it is on the door. So no, I think we're only required to have one set.
Okay.
Again, we kind of built up several over the years, I think. So it probably wouldn't hurt anyway to get them reset through this process anyway.
Okay. So they're working on new renderings.
Yeah. And again, those probably will not be in rooms because I think they're envisioning a separate I don't know, they have a different idea for how those signs are gonna work, so they're not even a part of.
Okay, good. That's even better. But
Yes.
I was concerned about that.
Yeah,
We don't end up with a freckly.
right. Yes, it'll look a little funny. With all that writing in front of us.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Royer, that's a lot of things to chase. It'll be good for the kids.
It'll be good. It'll be good, given that. It will.
All that?
I am.
All right, the only thing I'm gonna talk about, because she talked about a few things I was gonna address, so thank you. Virtual learning, I know there's some questions going around because it's been in the news the last few weeks. Unfortunately, Bart, I still don't have any real definite answers for you. As I tried to share last time we talked about this, in the last few days of the session, the legislature decided to put a cap of 3 days that are asynchronous, meaning if it's a day when it's not virtual learning where the teacher is live stream teaching right then on the time, districts will now be limited to 3. So our typical e-learning days we've used the last few years are asynchronous, so we would only get 3 of those. If we do synchronous, you can have as many as you'd like. That's how the law read, basically, when it was passed. So the Department of Ed has been trying to react to this and come up with some guidance and figure out what flexibility, if any, there is, because a lot of districts have benefited from the type of e-learning that we use. It's added a lot of, again, flexibilities. It helps parents out who maybe their kids on those days can't log in right at that live moment because they're at a grandparent's house who doesn't have it. They live in our case, if they live way up in Green Center where there may not be reliable internet, things like that. The confusion has come that several of our legislators have, I don't think they thought that's what they were voting for, I guess is what I will say, because several have told me, oh, no, weather days and things will still be, you can still use as many as you want. That is not what it is currently being interpreted as. So right now in Indianapolis, there's a big discussion going on. So I just tell you that I will share definites when we have definites, but IDOE, the Department of Ed, every time we talk about it, we get a slightly different answer because I think they're still trying to sort it out. And again, I think there's some confusion legislatively on what exactly they meant to do, if that makes sense. And so I do wonder if they'll clean this up at some point. So for now, my recommendation remains that we sit tight, don't disrupt what we're currently planning. Some schools are changing some of their school calendars and decisions based on this because of disruptions may be causing. Again, we will not be affected for a while because the way ours is built, so I don't want to disrupt anything and disrupt families before we have to until we know for sure what the guidance really is going to be. So as soon as we know, then we'll revisit that. Yeah.
Isn't there a legislative cleanup day on May 24th?
There is. I asked our liaison if they thought this would be on that day. Right now, they do not think this is going to be a part of that day. I'm encouraging them to consider it as part of that day. But I don't think this is one of the bills they're planning at the moment to clean up.
Thank you.
I hope they reconsider, because this has created a lot of stress and discussion around the state. And again, we're a district that won't be overwhelmingly affected by this. Some districts, this has really messed them up and has just completely disrupted everything that they already put in place for next year. We can survive it. It will inconvenience a lot of folks in a lot of ways, but
is there any safety data on, is it any safer with the increased number we've had in the last few years? If people aren't driving early, is there any way to track that?
I don't know if there's any hard data on that. I've not seen it if there is. That becomes the concern that if, I know a lot of parents, I know e-learning is not always the most popular thing, but I also know that families have appreciated having a lot more certainty on the last day of school and that we're not just adding days on and on and on at the end. That's really helped a lot of families. I think that's been a positive change. The trade-off with this, of course, will be if suddenly we aren't able to use these, we'll have to go back to that model and start adding days again at the end when there's a bad weather situation. And the concern is, will this then encourage schools without needing to suddenly not be taking precautions on those days as much because of the pressure felt to not add days to the end? I would hope not, but I think to your point with the safety, if people start getting frustrated and putting pressure on the district, we're adding too many makeup days, is the district say, okay, well, we'll go ahead and go today when they normally wouldn't have, and now we're putting the kids at risk. So it's a balance. But again, we'll see where the state lands, and we'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Yep. And honestly, that's it. I think they covered everything at the end of the year. Last day is a week from tomorrow. So we're excited for our kids and ready to see them all go out and enjoy the summer. That's all.
All right, thank you. Just a couple of things. I just want to thank all those who will be leaving us. I wish them all the best. To Mr. Cooper, I hope you're here so I can give you a proper send out next time, but I thought he was doing a fabulous job. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. Also, those who are coming in, thank you. Friday is the scholarship award. Does anyone want to speak on that behalf at 1 o'clock on Friday?
See you Friday.
Usually is.
Thank you, Mr. Hart.
That's fine. I like that. And that'll just be the seniors, right?
Yeah.
We're not doing
Just seniors.
We're not doing this whole. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the days of
Okay.
Yep.
So I need to be here until 1. Make sure I'm in front.
Yes.
I usually am. No, okay, that's fine. The donations. I don't think everybody for the donations, of course, that is huge, especially for all those programs. And also a big thank you to Kat for taking over yoga.
We'll see you next week later, yeah.
Oh no, don't worry. You are currently my favorite board members. That's all I got.
I think you hit most of what I had. Definitely thank you for all the donations. We certainly appreciate that. And yeah, farewell to the individuals that are leaving us and wish them the best. And we're certainly excited for all of our new employees as well. So, glad.
I had a thank you to Mrs. Oler and Mr. Taglia. They were there when I was young, so they give me fond memories. I thought the website was looking excellent. I played around with it the other day, so thank you for your work there. I don't have any older kids, but I tell you what, I don't know how you guys do it. Maybe I need to get some details from you, but my kids are never anxious about the test, and when they come home and they have shown growth, my oldest is like, Mom, like immediately. So however you guys do it to not give them anxiety and still get the results, I commend you. It's wonderful. And goodbye, Mr. Cooper. Very much missed. And I don't think I showed my teachers that I have enough appreciation. Mrs. Pettigrew and Ms. Anderson are my girls' teachers. And I wish I had enough money to afford them like spa days or something of that nature. The candy and flowers will have to do, but I very much, Teacher Appreciation Week, I'm a teacher too. I saw a meme the other day that says nothing says you're underappreciated like an appreciation week. And I thought, I hope that you guys don't feel that, because we very much appreciate you. So, thank you very much.
I want to thank Dr. Heil and Mr. Hart for having us start the strategic planning process again. So I appreciate that you brought the speaker in, and I think it's going to be good for the district to get that back. And I also hope that going forward, that we'll be able to continue reports and make it be a living document that really supports education here.
I too want to welcome all the new teachers to the district. It's a wonderful district, and I'm sure they'll all be welcomed. And I asked about a mentor program. I know we have one, so I'm glad to hear that. I checked out the app, so thank you for that effort. And I got a question for you when we're done. Okay. About launching it. How we're going to do that. And other than that, that's all I have.
Anything else? Okay, so with that, I will close this regular meeting of Smithfield Schools on May 16, 2022 at 8:14. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
No, thank you.
Hey, Julie.